Welcome back, folks, to the Shri Shiv Chhatrapati Sports Complex in Pune, a football stadium that's been converted into a dirt track arena for some Supercross. We've had thousands and thousands of people pack into the stadium to watch the kind of action that we have never seen in this country. And soon we will see some Indian riders compete in the 250cc Asia class. They've had one big race before where we had Thailand's Thanarat Penjan winning for Big Rock Motorsport, but now Lee, they go ahead for the second time, and this guy has a chip on his shoulder.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanarat Penjan will be going for 2 race wins in a row. 20 points he has taken from race number 1. If he wins this one, it will be 40 points that he will carry for his team into the All-Stars race at the very end of the night. I cannot wait to see how he features. I actually think he will do exceptionally well against the international riders.
Indeed, and we have 5 riders under the age of 18 in this class. This is such a proving ground for all these youngsters. And let's talk about one of these youngsters inspired. Sarthak Chavan from Moites Racing, riding the Kawasaki. This guy is only 17 and 3 months old. He isn't technically allowed to ride a bike on the road. If the police catches him, he's probably going to be dead. But the fact of the matter is, he's riding a dirt bike with such confidence that he's not just a good supercross rider, but he's also won so many championships on the road racing side of things. How amazed are you to see young kids like him adapt so well and show such great confidence on the track?
It's great to see, and I must say, the age of 17, if you look over to America, Australia, around the rest of the world, 16 years old is when we turn senior, and you get to sort of show your form to the rest of the world and see how you mix up against the best of the best. Now, I think that at age 17 is when you start to mature. You don't seem to be scared of too many things at the age of 17. As you get older, when you hit the ground, it kind of hurts a little bit more. It takes longer to recover from injuries. At 17, you kind of almost feel bulletproof, shall we say. So I like to see the aggression that we're seeing from him, and he's been showing fine form so far.
And he's not just the only Indian 17-year-old who's been doing a fine job. Right behind him in that first moto was Ikshan Shanbag, and that is some story, ladies and gentlemen. This local Puneri rider was literally unconscious after a huge crash yesterday. But he said, I'm going to keep on fighting. Regardless of whether I feel hurt or not, I'm going to keep coming back in. And Ikshan came back and finished P4. This is such a skill-based sport, isn't it, Lee? We should now hear more from the riders about the key core skills in Supercross.
You have to have a lot of really good balance. You have to be very agile. You have to have like a hyper focus with your mind and your vision. You also have to have great vision. You know, you need to be able to see things, little rocks, ruts, bumps, other riders. You know, you need to be able to see very, very well.
I think overall bike skill is like most important because it's not always the same. The track's changing. We have to react depending on what's happening in the race. So yeah, your overall bike skill needs to be on point.
I think for sure determination. You've got to be hard-working. You've got to be consistent. My biggest trait is just trying to be as consistent as possible. For sure, if you're good on the day, you can win. But being consistent in a championship takes you a long way, and for the team as well.
Consistency, that is going to be the big word for all these young Asian riders, especially the Indian ones, because Sarthak Chavan and of course Ikshan Shanbag, 2 young Indian riders who've got really good results, but can they repeatedly?
Skills, smoothness, being technical out there on the track, that is what Supercross is all about, as opposed to, I guess, the grassroots of our sport, outdoor motocross, where we see it on the side of a hill or a mountain and it's dusty and it's not under lights. Supercross, if you don't have what we call finesse, good technique, you'll get arm pumps straight away. We get that from holding on way too tight, and that is what those athletes were just talking about. They were explaining how important it is to be smooth and calculated.
And also resilient. I think honestly, Supercross riders, the moment you meet them, and also the moment I've met you as well, you feel the same thing. You folks are literally on a world apart in terms of determination, because you've got so many broken bones, so many injuries, so many things in your body that are not literally in the right way that they should be functioning. But the fact is, Supercross riders just keep on coming back. They never stop. And case in point, Ikshan Shanbag, injured yesterday, riding today, finishing P4 in front of his home crowd. honestly, the rest of the world might look at him and be like, Ikshan, are you crazy? But he is, and that's the beautiful part about it.
Well, I just made the comment before when I was chatting with Sagrika down on the ground that as a motocross or a supercross rider, you tend to always be carrying some kind of injury. If you're not currently injured at any point in time, you're generally recovering from an old injury that happened not that long ago. So, and I guess it's like many hardcore sports, but without a doubt, I promise you, there's not one rider down there on the starting line at the moment that doesn't have some part of their body that's kind of struggling a little bit that they're trying to recover from.
5 odd seconds to go before we begin the 250cc Asia Moto 2. Ladies and gentlemen, the time is here. Gates to drop, the gates to drop, 250cc Asia is underway!
What a start from our race 1 winner, Thanarat Penjan. He has thought, you know what, I did not like coming through the pack last time. I'm going to do it from the front of the pack this time. Now, if we can watch him closely and have a look, because he is the only rider in this class as we get to the far side of the circuit after this next left-handed U-turn that does the triple. A massive lead for this class and such a good feat. Let's see if we can see him do it.
Here he comes to the first lap. No, he's actually
just
gone for
double.
a double. Yeah, exactly. That is.
Eat my words.
But he'll eventually get there. Eventually get that huge triple jump. But that is Thanarat Penjan in the lead. Let's talk about other riders behind him because we see a big move trying to be made. That, folks, is Ben Prasid Holgren. He had a broken bike in the last race because he crashed from the lead. But now it seems to be fixed, and he's fighting for P2 up against Gujarat Trailblazers, Jacques Gunawarna from Sri Lanka. This is a three-way fight for P2.
Jacques in second place for the Gujarat Trailblazers. What an amazing job he is doing here. And Jacques found himself back in 5th place in Moto 1.
Pass for P3, that is a big one. Anderson Rodrigo, the rider who finished second in the last race, is going around the outside of Ben Holgren through the rhythm section. They're trying to go for doubles, and on this one, the number 31 Thai rider, Ben Holgren, eventually manages to squeeze past, and his eyes are set on Jacques Gunawarna for P2. Wow, that was crazy.
And Ben Holgren, I tell you, he was sideways coming out of there. He had no throttle control going on. It was all just wedged as fast as he could go.
And Anderson Rodrigo, clearly an eminent fan, going around the outside. He's going to try that once again as we come to the hairpin. He's got quite an exit route there. This is the fight for P2. Jacques Gunawarna and the number 99 bike is coming under pressure. They are 3 wide. Ben Holgren, he's got in one rider in couple of corners. That is incredible. From P4 all the way up to P2 in a couple of laps. The number 31 Motors Racing Team rider is on fire.
Well, he is on a mission at the moment. But what he needs to remember is he put himself on his head exceptionally fast in that first race in this section that he's about to come across right now. Let's have a look at the replay of this very well executed pass, slotted up the middle. There was no room to move there.
And Jacques Gunawarna, the number 99 Gujarat Trailblazers bike, was unfortunately caught napping. There's a move for P2 though. This is going to be huge. Anderson Rodrigo down the inside of Ben Holgren, almost chopping his nose off. As we come to the rhythm sections, Anderson Rodrigo in that red number 112 bike for BB Racing is literally on the back of Ben Holgren, to the point that Ben will be able to hear his exhaust note within his ears. It might be buzzing, it might be shaking up his brains, but that's where you've got to keep the concentration, Lee, haven't you?
Well, these fans are getting their money's worth for admission right here. Just from this battle, who is going to come out on top?
Anderson Rodrigo now trying to get a cut pass in this hairpin section right here. This is exactly what Ben Holgren did to Jacques Gunawarna, and there seems to be the cutback. He's got the momentum on his side. He's got the crucial inside line, but Ben Holgren says, buddy, not today.
Well, unfortunately, both lines came together there, funnel into one section, and he had no choice but to slot behind. But he is coming into this section of the track where you can make most of your passes in just one corner's time.
3 Thai riders in the top 3 of this 250cc Asia Moto race, and the top of them all is Thanarat Penjan in the number 71 Big Rock Motorsport bike. He is leading and is on his way for a historic double in this championship. But as it stands right now, it seems like the attack from Anderson Rodrigo has calmed down just a little bit. Ben Holgren in that number 31, the bike that we're seeing right now, just able to ease past for the Moite's racing team. But surprisingly, Jacques Gunawardena, the highest bid rider in this entire class, Lee, he's vanished. I don't see him anywhere close to these guys.
Now, he's quite a ways back, but an almost 6-second gap for Thanarat Penjan back to Ben Prezet Holgren back there in second place. So Big Rock and also Mahites getting very, very good points here.
Right now, we should give you a quick update on the Indian riders as well. And the leading one of them so far is Revved Barguje, currently in P5 in this class. He is a former two-time national champion in the world of Supercross and is a factory rider for the Petronas TVS racing team. As it stands, P5 in this race, but he'll be pushing really, really hard to get up ahead, because in the last race, he got P4. And that, yes, some part of it has to be attributed to attrition for so many top riders, but even then, he was so consistent, and that at the moment in time is what we're seeing with all these riders as well. The gap, only 3 seconds to Jacques Gunawardena in P4.
Now, something that I'm noticing here is, other than Thanarat Penjan in the lead, all the rest of our riders have not managed to string together 2 very good races. So it's going to be so interesting to see how we're going to round out our podium for second and third
Yellow
place.
flags are up in the air. There's a rider down, number 42. That would have to be Ikshan Shanbag. The local Pune rider is down. He has crashed for the Big Rock Racing team with another Moite's racing driver, which would be Sarthak Chavan. Oh no! The 2 local Pune riders coming together.
Oh. Now that looked to be Ikshan Shanbag, who's gone down all by himself and caused that crash. So through no fault of his own, has ended up on the ground.
And Sarthak Chavan with absolutely nowhere to go, running him over, but luckily both riders are on their feet. They are okay. Supercross is one dangerous sport, and thank goodness both these riders are absolutely all right. But this pains me, this hurts me, because both of our local riders, both of them who have done incredible jobs in the national championship, both of them actually from Pune, are down in incidents with each other. This breaks my heart.
Yellow flags out once again. Now the 250cc Asia Moto number 2. 8 minutes plus 2 laps. We have already ticked over 6 minutes and 20 seconds. So we are in the very latter stages here of Moto 2 of the 250cc India and Asia Cup.
Take a look at these U-turns. Take a quick look at how these riders are able to turn the bike around so quickly. Lee, how do they do it? Because quite clearly, they're not moving the handle quite a fair bit, as you see Ikshan Shanbag rejoining the race for Big Rock Motorsport. So how do you turn at these hairpins and U-turns where the handle isn't really moving that much?
Well, it depends on what line you're on. If you're on the outside and you're using what's called a berm, that holds our wheels in place and it stops those wheels from sliding out from underneath you. So many crashes we've seen over the last 2 days, Samil, have been on these flat turns that are exceptionally slippery. And once again, we just saw another one right there. So it depends on the type of turn as to what your body position is. If we have a berm, then we lean in with the corner. If it's a flat turn, we're supposed to sit up on top of the motorcycle, and it gives us a lot more traction on those tires.
And at this moment in time, Thanarat Penjan, a leading example of that, standing up and coming to these rhythm sections where he's doing double jumps. Now, for context, you could be going triple, which means the longest jumps possible, like jumping over 2 jumps at the same time. However, he's taking it easy. He doesn't need to go that hard, because as it stands, he's got a 5.5 second gap lead.
Now, what I think we need to explain also is he is choosing not to do triple. He is doing double, because he already has himself a good lead. There is no need to risk having a crash. And also for our fans at home that are trying to understand, why are these riders trying to go as low as they can instead of getting maximum height? Well, we're not doing this for freestyle. We're not doing this for a show. We're trying to go as fast as we can. Now, the lower you fly through the air, the quicker you get your wheels back on the ground. It's very important, and you'll see from all of our top-level riders that the moment they land, they are back on the gas again, or on the throttle again, to try to put that power on the ground. If you're not on the power, you're not moving forwards.
I think some of them don't even wait, because I've seen so many riders, when they're up in the air, they already start to rev their bike so that when they land, they're in the right RPM slot to to get maximum power down. That's the level of precision it takes. And honestly, I can't imagine thinking in the middle of a jump. But that's what they do. They think, they strategize, and then they just rev the bike out to the maximum so that they can get the best exit possible. Superhuman level of brain power, honestly.
As we get towards the latter stages, we are almost about to receive the 2 lap to go board. In fact, I think we have. I would like to just point out how amazing these riders are doing, riding under lights at night time. A lot of these riders, they're used to riding during the daytime where you can have a clear lens. You can put tear-offs on your goggles, which is how we clear our vision. You pull this very thin plastic film off and it clears your vision. But at night time, these lights from up in the stadium, they reflect off your goggles, and it's really quite difficult to see what you're doing. So this is a whole new world for these local riders here.
That is some amazing insights right there, Lee, and that just makes Thanuraj Benjan's performance all the more special. He's not a rookie. He's been racing for so many years. A 31-year-old who's been an Asian motocross champion all the way back in 2009. Since then, he's done so many national level races, but none of the caliber and star power as this one. As he rounds off the final corner, it's a double for Big Rock Motorsport. Thanuraj Benjan, your winner in the 250cc Asia category.
Take a bow. Thanuraj Benjan, all the way from Thailand, has done the double. 2 wins from 2 starts and maximum points for Big Rock Motorsports on board the Kawasaki machine. What a night he has had. Back in second place, Ben Prasid Holgren, also from Thailand. And of course, we've had ourselves a top 3 from Thailand. These guys are stoked.
This Thai triple that we have right here, Ben Prasid Holgren, Adson Radro and Thanuraj Benjan, representing their country at such a high level, and all 3 of them getting the podium. 3 Thai riders in the top 3 for the 250cc Asia category, and the next best rider is Revved Barguji, the 2023 and 2022 national champion in the world of Supercross for India, and he is in P4 for the SG Speed Racers. But in terms of points, in terms of taking home the maximum number of points, that has to be Thanuraj Benjan, and BB Racing, in fact, have had a decent day. We've got 2 of their riders in the top 6, and a special shout out to Prajwal Vishwanath, by the way, who in the first race was only P9, a great improvement by him to come up with P6 for the Indian rider.
And unfortunately for Sarthak Chavan, our local Indian rider here, who had a DNF in this second moto. So not the way he would have wanted to end the evening here at Pune for round 1.
And now here's a look at the highlights, and well, this guy was a highlight in himself. A world apart, the way he was able to just glide across the track, turn the bike so smoothly, get over the jumps that easily, that much marginally better than every other rider on the grid.
And if you have a close look, if we see once again, we just had a couple of great shots. The left-hand side of his helmet, you can see those tear-offs flapping. That is how he clears his lens, as he gives a big fist pump to the crowd here at Pune. And what a vocal crowd they have been. They are enjoying their first taste of Supercross.